Alright guys, how's it going? Today I am going to answer some questions. Actually, I'm going to answer a question about feeling unmotivated to work because I'm already married. This is an interesting topic. Do I really want to get into this? Do I really want to? Yeah, I guess we'll get into it. Alright, so this, let me see, I don't have a name here, but here's the question I got. I used to work hard to achieve big things like you, and I was at least partially motivated by a desire to impress women. Who isn't? That's one of the motivations in life, I think. When you trace your motivations of like why you do things, like it always comes back down to sex in some way, like everyone does. You know, if you think about it, like just like you trace it back and you're like, well, why? It kind of comes back down to that, right? So, okay. So, the thing is that I am already married now to a woman who loves me a lot, but I am worrying that I settled to her in terms of the looks department. Okay? I'm feeling like there is not much meaning for life now. What should motivate me now, now that I know that no matter how hard I work, this is it for me. No more girls. I get depressed every time I see an attractive woman on the street. So, okay, so there's a couple of things here, right, to think about. Okay, so the first thing is this, right, so there's no resting on your laurels, right, is what I call it. So this concept, you need to understand as a guy, first of all, you know, yeah, you're married, okay, that's fine, you got a girlfriend, that's fine, but women are always looking for an upgrade. And I don't mean this to be derogatory or to say anything bad about women, I'm just saying that biologically, women are sort of wired to keep on looking for the higher status male. And so the moment that you rest on your laurels and you think that, all right, I've accomplished, I've already got the girl, that's it, that's when you're going to be out for a surprise because, you know, she's likely to cheat on you, she's likely to, even if she's not cheating on you, right, even if she's staying loyal, she's wanting other men. She's wanting something out there. She's not going to, you know, see you as fulfilling. So now you might not care, right? I mean, from this question perspective of, you know, of the person asking this question, you might say, well, yeah, he's basically saying, hey, I'm settling for this girl and I see these other women and I'm not motivated because all the shit I was doing before was in order to make me attractive to women, and now that I've got one and she's not the best looking girl out there, then I'm not motivated anymore. But I'll tell you this, is that, you know, I'm starting here because if you're in that situation, one of the things that may motivate you and build that attraction for you is if your wife or significant other or girlfriend or whatever is more attracted to you, right? Because if she's sort of into you more, okay, then you might be into her more, right? It might spark that, again, and create that passion, right? You got to have polarization in order to have passion in a relationship. And what ends up happening a lot of times with relationships is that there's no polarization because, you know, like our emailer was saying, you know, that he basically gave up. He stopped trying because he doesn't need to anymore, right? And because of that, he stopped kind of being the man, and maybe she stopped kind of being the woman. And so, you know, one thing to consider is that if you have that polarization back, would this relationship be feasible? Would you be attracted to your wife again? Would you be attracted to your, you know, your girlfriend, whatever it is, right? That's a good question. And so the best way to figure that out is to start being the man again. Start doing the things that you did before. Again, I'm not trying to say, you know, oh, you know, buy flowers and bring candies. I'm saying like to actually be the man that is looking to impress women to, impress women is not really the motivation. It's looking to impress themselves, right? It's looking to become the best version of themselves possible, right? Even though there might be this underlying sex motivation behind things, right? It's still, what I'm saying is that you go back to being the man. You go back to trying to climb the status ladder. You go back to trying to better yourself and improve yourself, right? Instead of, like I said, resting on your laurels, and that may reignite and re-spark that passion, okay? And but it may not, okay? It may not, all right? But so that's the place I would start with this, okay? And, you know, and the reason why I'm starting there is because I don't want to just give you advice like, oh, well, you know, maybe you should go and if this isn't making you happy, maybe you should find what is going to make you happy. And I will get to that in a minute, because there is a bit of that. But the second thing I want to say that sort of alarmed me a little bit is talking about, again, and I slipped up, I said it myself in this video, is this idea of impressing women. Okay, so it's cool, I get what you're saying, but that can't be your intent, right? And it shouldn't have been your intent from the very beginning, right? I mean, and there's some piece of this, right? I get that, I totally get that, but it's got to be like, and this is the problem, right? Again, the reason why you're losing motivation when you're losing the ability to impress women, or you don't care about impressing women anymore, is because that's what your motivation is about. It's all about trying to get something, and it's seeking some kind of validation from the world. And there's two kinds of validation, right? That I've sort of come across here, I'm kind of developing this philosophy. But I've done some videos on external validation, right? You can check out those videos. And that's important, you know, to avoid, okay? You don't want to seek external validation. But I'm starting to see this other kind of validation that I call internal validation, which is proving to yourself that you're the fucking man. Proving to yourself that you're capable of becoming what you want, of being what you want, of doing what you want, of accomplishing those things, and that you're worthy. And I feel like, you know, with external validation, you can skip that 100%, and you don't need that at all. And the more that you seek that, the worse off you're going to be. That's the kind of impressing women, you know, type of thing. But there's also this internal validation, right? So the external validation says, I need this woman or this girl to like me so that I can feel that I am worthy, and that I'm someone who's attractive and is worthy of love, or whatever it is, right? That I'm a cool guy. I need you to tell me I'm a cool guy. The internal validation says, I need to be impressive. You know, I need to be able to go out there and talk to women, and I need to go out there and procure this hot girl because I need to know that I can do it myself, that I can overcome my fears, that I can overcome my doubts. I'm not seeking anything from her. I'm seeking myself to grow, to improve myself to the point where I can accomplish these things in life, right? And I know that it might sound like the same thing, but it's really what is the thing that's motivating you and driving you, right? And so if it's this external validation bit, okay, the quote impressing women, it's never going to be enough. And then when you're no longer seeking that goal, you're going to lose motivation. But if it's this internal validation, if it's saying, okay, I need to prove to myself, right? And I constantly need to prove to myself. And every day I wake up and I start the battle anew, right? I have to fight a new battle, and I have to prove to myself that I am the man that I want to be, right? And today is a brand new day. If that's what you're seeking, okay, and you're internally validating yourself, what you need to do, then you're going to have the motivation to continue, because you're never going to be satisfied, but in a good way. With external validation, you're never going to be satisfied, but in a bad way, because you're always going to be seeking other people's approval. You're always going to be seeking that love or someone to save you, right? I did this video, I always point to that you're always going to be alone, right? And no one's coming to save you, and that's really important. But with internal validation, it's a little bit different, because you're seeking to prove to yourself that you're what you want to be, right? And so you're going to keep on going after that. So that's the other thing, is I would switch that around. Stop thinking about it in terms of impressing women and basing your life around that. Instead, base your life around becoming the best man that you possibly can be. That you base your life around this idea of reaching your full potential in life, your maximum potential, right? Becoming the best version of yourself possible. These are the things I talk about on this channel, because that's what I'm after, right? I do a lot of shit that I don't necessarily want to do, but I need to do it because I want to reach that level for myself. And, you know, as a consequence of doing that, for you guys, you single guys out there, you know, women will be drawn to that. They'll be drawn to a man that has his own mission in life, not one who is trying to make them the center of their life. No woman wants to be the adventure. She doesn't want to be the center of your life. She wants you to be centered and to have a mission and purpose in life, and to join you on that. You're taking her on the adventure, but you've got the adventure planned already. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the thing, is that's really important. Okay, so now we'll get to the final part of this, right? Which is, okay, suppose you've done these things that I've talked about, and you've tried it out, and you've thought about this. At some point, you might just want to evaluate your life and say, are you going to be unhappy? And if you're going to be unhappy, change your situation. Again, I'm not trying to break up relationships and things like that. But if honestly, like, you're like every day, you're like not happy with your choice and your selection, and you can only think about other options that are out there, and you don't have the motivation, okay, and you just feel like you've settled, then hey, what can I say? I mean, maybe what will happen is that you will regret the decision, but you should think about this and honestly know that you know, ultimately you have to make choices in your life, and you have to live with those choices, and you can project it 5 or 10 years down the road. And this is where I would, what I would do if I were you, is I would try and implement changes that I've suggested here, and maybe give it a 3-month period of time to see, you know, if that does change your perspective. But then I would start looking at projecting 5 years down the road. Like, what will your life look like, and will you be happy or ever satisfied 5 years down the road? Because if you know that you're basically going to be in the same situation or worse situation 5 years down the road, then you might as well change it now and get it over with, right? Even if that is going to be like not the most comfortable situation, because it's your life, right? You've only got one of these things, okay? And you know, it's you know, it's unfortunate that things happen that way, but realize that this is always going to be the condition. That, you know, if you go and you do get that hotter girl or whatever it is, and you go out there and you are free for some time, that if you hook up with her and you hitch up with her, that you're going to be in this situation again, because the newness of it is going to wear off. So you know, it's difficult, right? I'm not going to say this, it's not a difficult situation, but really think about this and really play it forward, and really think about, like, what situation do you want to be in? Like, what is your ideal life? And you know, if you got to make some changes, if you got to adjust things in your life, if you've got to break off a relationship, if you got to get out of this marriage even, right, then you got to do it, okay? But do it now if you know that 5 years from now that you're going to be in the same or worse situation, right? This is what, if you see a hope, if you see things changing, then by all means, you know, go down that road and make those changes happen. But if you don't, right, then you got to decide, am I going to live a miserable life where I'm not happy, right? And I can guarantee you that if you're living that lie, that it's not going to be the best life for your wife either, right? She's going to be living some kind of a lie as well, not really having you. And so, and she's going to sense it, right? She's going to know what's going on. So it'd be better for you to part ways, as hard as that can be. So, all right, that's all I have for you today. You know, difficult subject for sure, difficult subject. But like I said, if you change that focus and you work on, you know, on becoming the better version of yourself, not trying to, you know, your motivation in life should not be to impress women, because what happens when that goes away? What happens when you can't do that, right? I mean, it's not a good motivation to have, right? And that's why you're seeing a drop off in motivation. So if that's your problem, if that's your vision in life is that you just want to impress women, it's going to be a really hard road for you. So, you know, try to get off that road. All right. That's all I have for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below and click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.